Why the Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl in 2019. Make sure to stay tuned to find out why. What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports back, you guys, with another video. In this video, I'm continuing my series talking about why all 32 NFL teams will win the Super Bowl in 2019. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why the Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl this season. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of people have high expectations for the Philadelphia Eagles this season. You're getting back Carson Wentz fully healthy. They may have one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. And they're relying on him to stay healthy. So I think that Carson Wentz can end up staying healthy, and this Philadelphia Eagles team is actually pretty good when Carson Wentz is able to stay healthy. Actually, I saw some crazy number on ESPN a few weeks ago. It said that Carson Wentz, before he got injured, was actually on pace to break the records or have a better season than what he had his MVP season when he was an MVP candidate a season ago. So that's a crazy stat. So Carson Wentz this season, I think he's going to end up being very good, very solid, and he has a very good team around him. So we got to look at the halfback position. They made the trade for Jordan Howard with the Chicago Bears. He's going to end up being a very solid halfback. Jordan Howard, I think at this point in his career, is pretty much a guarantee to get 1,000 yards if you're able to have a very solid offensive line for him. Then you also got Miles Sanders, who they drafted out of Penn State. Miles Sanders is no slack off. He's very, very good. A lot of people didn't really talk about Miles Sanders. Most people know him for being Saquon Barkley's backup, but he's very athletic. He's very good as well. He's a guy that a lot of people shouldn't sleep on. Then you got Darren Sproles there. We know about the old speedy Darren Sproles. A lot of people thought he was going to retire this year, but he ended up staying. I believe that this will be his last season this year. Very good catching the ball out of the backfield, and we know what Darren Sproles is able to do. The name speaks for himself. Then you also got halfbacks like a Josh Adams, who also stepped up in a few games last season near the end of the season. And Corey Clement, who a season ago in that Super Bowl against the New England Patriots had a very good game there. So at the halfback position, they're pretty much set at the halfback position. It's just going to be a matter of how these guys get their roles. Like, what is Jordan Howard's role going to be? What is Miles Sanders' role going to be? How they get Darren Sproles, Josh Adams, and Corey Clement involved in the offense and things like that. So this Philadelphia Eagles halfback position is pretty solid. Then at the wide receiver position, you got Alshon Jeffrey. He had that big drop in that divisional game against the New Orleans Saints. So he should be coming back for a chip on his shoulder. He's a pretty solid wide receiver for the most part. Not elite, but he's pretty good. Pretty solid there. You can expect solid production out of him. Then you got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Now, they drafted this dude out of Stanford. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside reminds me of Alshon Jeffrey, but with a lot of complexion. Very big body wide receiver. Great hands, and it's going to be a very good threat in the red zone for Carson Wentz and this Philadelphia offense in 2019. Then you got Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson is back home with the Philadelphia Eagles, which he never wanted to lead the Philadelphia Eagles anyway. But Chip Kelly traded him away a few seasons ago because he thought he was a gang member or something like that. So now he's back with the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's happy to be home. And I think Deshaun Jackson is going to end up having a very solid season for the Philadelphia Eagles. And although Deshaun Jackson is up there in age, he's still one of the best deep threats in all the NFL. You're not going to find a better deep threat than what Deshaun Jackson is. And he had some flashes. During Tampa, the quarterback position really held him back a little bit because of how they kept on interchanging him, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston. He played better when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback. quarterback, but he wasn't too bad when Jameis Winston was a quarterback as well. Now you got a guy like a Carson Wentz who is better than both of those guys combined. One of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, so that's going to benefit Deshaun Jackson now. Probably the best quarterback he's played with in the last couple of seasons of his career there. So you got a solid quarterback there. You got Deshaun Jackson there. Then you also got Nelson Agholor, who a lot of people thought was going to end up being a bust, but last season he ended up turning it on. And he's been pretty productive the last couple of seasons, the last 2 seasons, or specifically last season. He was very solid there down the stretch, and I think he's going to end up continuing that success, and he should end up having another solid productive season for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2019. So their wide receiving core is very, very solid. A very solid group. Then we got to look at the tight end position. At tight end, you got Zach Ertz, one of the best tight ends in all the NFL. I would consider him a top 5 tight end. And then we got to look at the off the line. The Philadelphia Eagles have one of the best off the lines in football. You got Jason Peters there. You got Andre Dillard, who they ended up drafting in this year's NFL draft. I don't know if he's going to end up starting or if he's going to, I don't know what they're going to do with Andre Dillard. But either way, he could be a pretty solid starter. He could provide some good depth on that off the line. You also got Jason Kelce, one of the best centers in the NFL. You got Lane Johnson, who is pretty good as well, and Brandon Brooks, who had a pretty solid 2018 season. Now on the defense side of the ball, it's a tie between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, who has the best defensive line in all of football. At the defensive end position, the Philadelphia Eagles have Derek Barnett and they got Brandon Graham. Then at that defensive tackle position, you got guys like Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, Timmy Jernigan. Fletcher Cox is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Malik Jackson played for the Jacksonville Jaguars the last couple of seasons. Didn't really do that much. Didn't really have that big of an impact like Jacksonville Jaguars thought he would be with this Philadelphia Eagles team. I think he is the perfect fit there. He's going to be able to stop the run there, and he's going to be pretty solid. So then you got Timmy Jernigan. He's pretty good as well. You got Vinny Curry in that mix. He's going to be able to provide some solid depth for this Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. So it's a tie between who has the best defensive line in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles. They have good starters and they also have good depth. They have guys who they can rotate in, and that's a big part. If you want to be able to go far in the playoffs, you got to have guys who can be able to rotate in and out and be able to maintain fresh legs. That's also a big part of football, is being able to manage fatigue, being able to rotate in guys with fresh legs. So when you have multiple guys on the bench who you can rotate in and they can be just as good or give you a little bit of the same production that your starters give you, then you have pretty good depth there. So then we got to talk about the linebacking core. Zach Brown, he's a pretty solid linebacker there. They lost one linebacker, Hicks, to the Arizona Cardinals in free agency, so that might be a little bit of a blow there, but I still think their linebacking core is good enough to help them win the Super Bowl. Then we got to look back at the secondary. Now the secondary, I do not know how the Philadelphia Eagles did it, but they found a way. Their secondary was absolutely banged up. When I tell you injuries hit the Philadelphia Eagles cornerback position hard, it hit them freaking hard, because at one point they had to get guys from off the street to play cornerback in. I don't know how they found a way to make it to the playoffs, and they found the way. They found the way to make it to the playoffs. I don't know how they did it with how banged up that secondary was. Everybody was getting injured. Jalen Mills was getting injured. Guys were getting injured for just getting touched, getting stiff-armed and things like that. The secondary was absolutely... woo, it was banged up. They were basically, it's like when you have a sinking boat and you keep on trying to patch up the hole in the boat, but then that hole in the boat just ends up coming undone and water ends up flooding it again, and then you got to keep patching it up and keep patching it up until you get to your destination. I mean, that seems like what the Philadelphia Eagles were doing. It seems like they kept on putting on band-aids and things like that, trying to patch up leaks and stuff like that, but the way that they were able to make it to the playoffs just impresses me. And it just goes to give you an accolade to how good of a coaching staff that the Philadelphia Eagles has, because I don't know if any other team would have been able to pull that off, having so many of your best cornerbacks on your team end up going down and still end up making the playoffs. So you got cornerback Jalen Mills. A lot of Eagles fans have mixed reactions about Jalen Mills. One game they're praising him, the other game they're bashing him, saying that he's not good and he sucks. So really mixed reactions with Jalen Mills. So hopefully he can be more consistent in 2019, which I believe that he will be, because he's one of my favorite cornerbacks in the NFL playing right now. So I think Jalen Mills will be consistent more in 2019, and that's going to be a big part of helping the Philadelphia Eagles team make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. You also got Ronald Darby. He was probably one of their best, probably their best cornerback on the team that they had last season. Then you got Avonte Maddox. Now, Avonte Maddox is a guy who stepped up when all of the Philadelphia Eagles cornerbacks started suffering injuries. He's a guy who struggled a little bit, but later on down the stretch, he played very well for the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you also got Sidney Jones there as well. So despite who starts at the cornerback position, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to have experience there, and they also have more depth at the cornerback position, because now they have guys who they can feel comfortable in replacing somebody if somebody gets injured or something like that. Then at the safety position, you got Rodney Melito and you got Malcolm Jenkins, who is one of the better safeties in the NFL. So this Philadelphia Eagles team, good defensive line. They have some depth there at the secondary position, specifically cornerback. Very solid wide receiving core. A very good group of halfbacks there as well. And you're going to have Carson Wentz fully healthy. And if he's able to stay fully healthy, then he's going to end up putting up big numbers for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. And this is why I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl in 2019. So let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section down below. What you guys think about this video. Also make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And also make sure to check out these other videos as well. And thanks for watching.